Welcome to the sixth session of Jah Damion Talk Real Talk, African Parables and Proverbs. Translation and decrypting of the Proverbs, looking into the subliminal messages left by your ancestors. As we know, Africa is thousands of years old, and so are these Proverbs. So we'll be looking into the messages left in them that we can get from them. The Proverbs can be translated in more than one meanings. So we are asking for the interaction of our viewers to please leave their own translation of what these proverbs mean to them in the comment section, and we'll be reading back on other upcoming programs what our viewers had commented and said. Alright, we're going to pick up from the last proverb we left, which was an Eritrean proverb. I stated that it was an Egyptian proverb, but I was wrong. It's an Eritrean proverb, and it states that a home without a mother is a desert. A home without a mother and a father and a child, but no mother, no feminine touch in the house, is very barren. There's no feminine touch, no nice drapes, a lot of stuff that the woman would go forward to see done in the yard. There's some flowers, a little gardening, things she would vie for. The feminine touch will be lacking. So a home without a mother is likened unto a desert. Another proverb. We're going to be going into Ethiopia now. We're going to be delving into Ethiopian proverbs. And the first proverb from Ethiopia says, "Do not blame God for having created the tiger, but thank Him for not having given it wings." Now, we should not blame things as for the way they are. If there is even a problem, give thanks that our problem has not overtaken us. Even though we have problems, we should thank God for that the problem has not overtaken us. We're not down underneath the struggles. There are things out there, and things might not go in the way we want them to go, but they're not overtaking us. Our problems are not overtaking us. So that's the main thing, to know that the world is the way it is, but we're not dead and it's not for the worst. Another Ethiopian proverb. The witness of a rat is another rat. A rat, the characteristics of a rat is a thief, a dishonest person. A dishonest person is not going to look for a truthful person to be their witness. They're going to look for another dishonest person to be their witness. So the witness of a rat is another rat. When spider webs unite, they can tie up a lion. Those spider webs are easy to be broken too. If you spool spider web together, you get something like a silk thread. And if you make a rope from silk, it can cut through anything before it breaks. So unity, it speaks of unity in people. People who unite can overthrow a boss or a institution or a kingdom or an empire or even a country. So it speaks about unity. When it says spider webs unite, they can tie up. When spider webs unite, they can tie up a lion. Now the Ethiopian proverb. The fool speaks, the wise man listens. People who are not cognitive of things are always outpouring, always speaking, always chattering, not observing. But people who are intuitive are always in tune, always listening, always absorbing, always learning. So the fool speaks and the wise man listens. Alright. Another Ethiopian proverb. You cannot build a house for last year's summers. This simply means that you cannot affect things of the past. Things that are already gone in the past. If you cannot affect them. You can only affect your future. You can only do things to affect this year's summer coming in front of you. Whatever has passed has already passed, and you cannot touch it. Another Ethiopian proverb. When one is in love, a cliff becomes a meadow. When one is in love, a cliff becomes a meadow. That's very profound. That's a very profound statement right there. When one is in love, they don't see danger. And they do stuff not even watching. For instance, when a man is in love with a woman, he'd walk 100 miles just to see her. And then when he's to go back home, then he thinks about the journey and the fears. So when in love, people don't calculate the fear. They just go towards it. Another Ethiopian proverb, it says, evil enters like a needle and then spreads like an oak tree. So small, fickle things, small things, small problems, any problem, once you give consideration to it, if you don't stay away from evil in total, don't consider doing evil, don't consider evil in total. Once you barely give your mind a glimpse of it, or allow your mind to consider it even for a small minute, it enters in and then it takes its time and take over. So let not evil enter, because if it enters like a needle by a small prick, a small impulse, impulse comes like a small prick of a needle, but it overwhelms the whole body. Another Ethiopian Proverbs. Smooth seas does not make skillful sailors. If things are always easy, if you can always get things done easily, whenever there is a challenge, you won't be able to overcome, because you are always looking for the easy way out. When you take the easy path out, you don't become skilled, you don't become a master of whatever you're doing. So if you go to the sea every day and the sea is always calm and you sail out and you come in and you're, oh, like I'm a sailor, and one day you go out in a squall or a storm and you panic, you're going to sink. So the roughness of the sea and being able to be poised and not panic allows you to become a more skilled sailor and overcoming the sea, overcoming the obstacle at times of smooth seas only make you makes you less skillful, in other words. Alright, another Ethiopian proverb. What is inflated too much will break into fragments. If you blow a balloon with too much air, it's gonna burst. What you pressure too much, whatever you overemphasize on, whatever you overpressure will break, it will shatter, because you're overemphasizing, you're overworking, you're overpressuring whatever it is that you have to do. Another Ethiopian proverb, because he lost his reputation, he lost a kingdom. Here is not about the kingdom, it's talking about your reputation. Your reputation goes before you, stands out before you. People will hear of you before they see you, and even when people see you, they're still going to hear of you. So do your best to maintain your reputation and good moral class. Try not to fall into any anarchy, any negative. Keep your reputation clean. Another Ethiopian proverb. Great men have big hearts. It is true that great people have big hearts. They are very loving, very kind, very strong, very forgiving, and they think of things different. They put more emphasis on things, and they react. They show that their hearts are big, because when it overwhelms them, they move. They show action. Another Ethiopian proverb. A home without a woman is like a barn without cattle. I'll leave that one for our viewers to translate or decipher. A wise man cannot save a decaying country, as manure cannot save an eroding land. A wise man cannot save a decaying country, as manure cannot save a decaying land. When a country is decaying, it's not because of the land and the trees, it's because of crooked individuals who are a part of the country. And if a wise man tries to even come with wise strategies and plans, they're going to kill him just to have their own way, because herein the fact is that everyone has to have the country's interest at heart. So the wise man himself cannot save a country, as manure cannot save a eroding land. One strength is another Ethiopian conflict. Here's another Ethiopian proverb. One's strength in conflict comes from one's verbal skill. One's strength in conflict comes from one's ability to reason, one's ability to calculate whatever is happening, because you're going to be reasoning with yourself, calculating with yourself. One's strength in conflict comes from one's verbal skill. It's your ability to articulate yourself on the battlefield. It's the ability to express yourself in battle. He who learns teaches, Ethiopian proverb. Here it is saying that the one who is learned in something is going to teach it because they have it in abundance. So he who learns teaches. Ethiopian proverb again. Better one single decision maker than 1,000 advisors. Advisors are going to talk and procrastinate and say, oh, this is supposed to be done, and they're going to recommend, but none is going to do nothing. So one single decision maker who's going to say, yes, this is what's going to be done, will get something done, more than the advisors who will only advise. Ethiopian proverb. The mouse is silent while laboring, but when the baby is conceived, she cries. A mouse is seen as a meek animal, in other words, a mouse. So while working and toiling to gain whatever is precious, the mouse is silent, doesn't make any highlight, doing it in secret. But whenever the fruit is conceived, whenever the baby is born, the mouse cries, rejoicing at that time, or crying at that time after passing through that phase of volatility. An elephant with a bad leg limps along. An elephant represents a leader. And even though this leader has an handicap, this leader is still pushing on through the struggles. Because an elephant is a huge, to be recognized as a majestic, as a characteristic of a majestic individual. So though it has a bad leg, it still limps along because it is an elephant and it has to get whatever it's doing done, which would be its responsibilities. Here is the final proverb for today, which we'll be leaving for our viewers and subscribers to translate for themselves or decipher and leave their understanding of what they think it means. One who runs alone cannot be outrun. That's an Ethiopian proverb. It says one who runs alone cannot be outrun. So we ask our viewers to solve that proverb and leave what they think it means in the comment section for me, please. Ethiopian proverb. One who runs alone cannot be outrun. I love you, my brother, my sister, wherever you are around the world. I love you, my brother, my sister, wherever you are around the world. We look forward to your interaction into the Proverbs. One love from us here in Jamaica. We give thanks for your participation.